Hey John, so these are the home exercises that I want you to do. I want you to do them at least 5 times a week. If you could do them 7 times a week, that'd be fantastic. I understand sometimes you can only get it in 3 to 4 times, but I really want that to be a goal of yours to try to shoot for 5 times a week. These exercises, once you do them all the way through, shouldn't take you any more than about 20 or so minutes. And once you really get them down, it may even be faster than that. All right, this is that lateral step down. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a step with like a railing, like the bottom stair, or what you can do is like a book, some sort of elevated surface. You have a small step and go next to a countertop for stability. But what this one's going to be, if you remember, you're gonna be holding on. You're gonna lower down, lightly tap your foot, and you're gonna come back up. The goal of this one is to be lightly tapping down, nice and controlled, and back. You're not leaning over, dropping. You're not hanging out this way. I want your leg to be going, when you're bending this knee, it's staying straight. It's not tipping, turning side to side. You're gonna lightly tap down, and you're gonna press all the way back up, okay? You're gonna do this on both sides. It's a single leg balance. So this one, which I want you to do, you can be by a countertop, whatever you need, but you're gonna go up into that single leg balance. Hold on for a little bit, because I just want you to be able to stand in this position for at least 30 seconds. Once you're able to do that, then you're gonna start to take your hands off lightly, and you can be tapping. If you constantly feel like you're catching yourself tapping, then just lightly hold yourself with your hands, not really using your hands too much. Try and hold that for 30 seconds. Goal for this one would to be building up to standing for 30 seconds without using your hands at all. Small increment goals could be 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, then 15, all the way up to 30. You'll do that on both sides. This is that slow sit to stand with a tap. So you can find a bench, this one's about 17 inches tall. You can use 18 inches, you can use a chair, whatever you want. What this one is focusing on, there's gonna be 3 parts to it. There's gonna be a tap, there's gonna be a slow sit, and there's gonna be a stand up, okay? So the tapping one is gonna look like we're squatting down, you lightly tap, and then you stand back up, okay? Lightly tap, and then you stand back up. That's the tapping variation, okay? The sitting variation I want you to do is you go back, you sit without plopping at all, nice and gentle, okay? Then the standing variation, you're not using your hands. You can use a little bit of momentum, but no hands involved. Leaning over, and then you're gonna stand, okay? So you can do a couple of those where you sit down nice and gently all the way, and you lean forward without throwing too hard, but if you have to start that way, fine. Just try not to use your hands to stand by pushing it all. I want you to lean and then push to stand up. To make it easier or harder, to make it easier, you stack. I don't know, you can put a pillow on there to use a higher surface. To make it harder, just a lower surface. This one's gonna be backward walking. So what I want you to do is you can put a line on the ground, or you can just eyeball a line or a tape measure, whatever would work. But what I want you doing on this one is you're gonna be stepping backwards, trying to stay in line and right on that line, so you're not drifting over to the side. Slow and steady wins the race on this one. So I don't want you rushing and stumbling, anything like that, okay? It's gonna be backward walk, step, control. It's nice and slow, and you're kind of creeping backwards when you're doing this. Once that becomes too easy, then you're just gonna take bigger steps. So it'll kind of eventually turn into kind of more of a lunging type pattern. Let's start off just walking nice and slow. This is lateral stepping. So what I want you to do is it's gonna kind of be like a sideways lunge. I want you to step as far as you comfortably can while being able to push yourself up with control. So what that means is if I'm stepping over here, when I step 2, I can control it. What would look out of control would be if something you're stepping like this and you gotta kind of throw yourself and you're unstable that way, okay? Starting out, you can use like a little countertop, railing of some sort, whatever you need to work on building up to larger steps. But then once you kind of got it down, then you can wrap a couple out where it's a step, step, trying to step as far as you comfortably can with control. This one's gonna be marches. So what I want you to do, if you need to have something to hold on to start, that's okay, okay? But what I want, ideally, is you're not holding on to anything, and we're just gonna be lifting that knee up to parallel, marching nice and slow, side to side, okay? I don't want it to turn into where you're stomping the legs down, because then you're just using momentum. I want you to focus on really building control and setting the legs down nice and softly. Again, your arms can be out here to help you balance if you need to. You can lightly have your hand on a surface to help stabilize yourself, but I want to see that good weight shift and that nice, slow, controlled march. So this is lunges. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna find like a countertop or a railing of some sort, something you can hold on to. You can do a little bit of a split stance here, okay? What I want you to focus on is I want you to lower down into a lunge as far as you're comfortably able to, because I want you to be able to get back up, all right? So you're gonna lunge down and you're gonna press back up to stand, okay? If you have to do this too low, you have to lean or push up that way, that's too far. If you can only go this far to start, fine. This is working on your balance as well as leg strength. So if you look at me from the front, I have a narrower stance. If you need a little bit more stability, you can have a little bit wider of a stance, but I want most of that weight on this front leg. So I don't want you leaning backwards into a lunge. I want most of that weight on this front leg. This one's more for stability, and then you're pressing up. When you will do that on both sides, so do the other side, you're just gonna spin the other direction and put the other leg forward. Okay, so the reps and sets as follows. I want you to write these down so you can have it on a piece of paper so you can look at it and reference it. The video's there so you can kind of see how I'm doing it and explaining it. And if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. So for the first one, the step downs, I want you to do 8 to 10 each leg, and I want you to do that 2 times on each leg. So you're gonna go like left leg, right leg, then you're gonna repeat left leg, right leg, okay? Again, you can use a stair or you can stack books or any sort of surface that you want. I would ideally like you to be stepping down about 10 or so inches. It could be a little bit less to start, but you can go up as high as you comfortably can. Single leg balance, I want you to do it 2 times 30 seconds each leg. So left leg 30, right leg 30, alternate back and forth. If you can't quite do 30, then I want you to do 4 sets of 15 each. So 15 back and forth and back and forth, okay? The slow sit to stand, what I want you to do is I want you to alternate days. So I want you to do the tapping one day where you sit, tap, stand. I want you to do that 5 to 8 times. Reps, I want you to do 2 sets of that. And then the ones where we're doing the slow sit, so you're sitting all the way down and then you're standing, same thing, 5 to 8 times, 2 sets of that, alternating days. For the backward walking, I want you to walk about 20 to 30 feet. I want you to do that 2 times. Then what I want you to do for the lateral stepping is I want you to step 8 times each way. So if you don't have the adequate space for it, you can do 4 to the left, 4 to the right, 4 to the left, 4 to the right. I want you to do 2 sets of that. But if you can do all 8 in a row, because you have the room for it, great. Marches, I want you to do it 2 times for 30 seconds without stopping, okay? Using as little stability with your hands on a surface as you need to, but I don't want you to fail and fall when you're doing it or feel unstable. Stability is more important when it comes to that one. Then the lunges, I want you to do 8 on each leg twice. So you're gonna do 8 with the left leg, 8 with the right leg, and you're gonna go back and repeat those as well. If you have any questions, feel free to call me, shoot me a text, or we can FaceTime, whatever you need.